Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to give Charlie a reminder. We all love Charlie. Yes. Yeah. Charlie used to have long hair. They don't recognize him. But I met Charlie at a Buddhist thing in Berkeley. Yes. Remember? Yeah. Yeah. And speaking at Buddhist meetings tend to have cause some agitation and discomfort. Because maybe without knowing it, there's a using of the Buddha to seek the Buddha. Yeah. Yeah. And uh, what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing from that. Yeah. So these were the statements that really got. I heard. First, I was introduced to the Course in Miracles. And that was strange because I was sitting at a coffee shop in San Francisco after this Monday meeting we had in recovery. And there was people at another table, and I was pontificating. And they came up to me and said, "So you know the Course in Miracles?" I said, "No, I don't know anything about the Course in Miracles." Says, you should look at the Course in Miracles. So they invited me to this thing they were having up in near Mount Shasta, and I went there, and then basically just laughed every time I was there because a lot of when the action figure, the revelation gets not to the action figure, but through it, the reaction in the action figure from sort of behind is laughing. You just laugh at a lot. Yeah, it just seems so ridiculous. So that set it off. And then I don't know where I was going with that. But then someone told me about a lady that was in Berkeley. She was appearing in a park, so I had to find out. I went to some people having a picnic. Oh, no, I had no idea. They didn't have any sign. I just looked like who looks like. Found them. There was like 4 people there. And she was from Eastern Europe, spoke very softly. I couldn't hear her, but it didn't matter. I felt something. And then the next week they were inside, so it was easier to hear a little bit. And then that just set the ball rolling. Yeah. And then I got introduced to that book, Who Cares by Ramesh Balsekar. And that triggered that German Shepherd thing. Every page, it would stop the logic, the mental logic, and then there was that pause, which is so much gets revealed when nothing's happening. Just was there. And so I was really digging it. And then I decided out of the blue, I was going to go to India because I read the guy was 85 years old, and I was thinking he could die any day. I'd like to go and check him out. Yeah. So I did. Went to Bombay. No idea what was going on. Went there, and there was famous person there, Leonard Cohen. He used to go see him, and then probably some infamous people in their own minds were there, and just listened. And then I decided I'd go to Raman Maharshi's. Went there, and then when I came back and I saw, went to a couple more meetings, and then went home. Yeah, and then uh, there is a difference between the view and vision. So let's say vision is awareness, yeah? And then the view is an understanding. So while you're seemingly blind by a lot of things, sometimes an understanding is like a life preserver that brings you a sort of bit of calmness in the agitated surface, yeah? So you're holding on to this understanding, yeah? And then it's sort of like the cement is drying. It's getting, you're being brought to being convinced of things. And this is all happening here while the underlying state is just the underlying state. Yeah. And then at one point, the view loses a certain importance because the vision has been triggered, so to speak. So now you're not aware as Paul, but you're aware of Paul. Yeah. You're not aware as Paul, but you become aware of Paul, like you would become aware of another person. Yeah. You become aware of another person called Paul. Yeah. And it's not that you're a person becoming aware of another person. It's a giant question mark what you are, but you're getting very clear you're not a person. Yeah. Yeah. And uh and then a lot can be explained. And if you're going to be put to use in a certain way, like having a seat assignment, like uh, being part of a satsang, then a lot of things may download because of that purpose. There's no reason it has to, but if it's useful, then you're going to understand stuff. And so more got revealed, and I was introduced to a couple of people some people I liked, some people I didn't really like, but I got introduced to, I spoke in Spain, in Malaga, and some people came up to me and said, man, you should read this guy, Wei Wu Wei, because what you're saying is right out of Wei Wu Wei. I never heard of Wei Wu Wei. It sounded like, what is that? The Wu-Tang Clan. That band. It was like Wei Wu Wei. What the fuck is that? Wei Wu Wei. But then he was an Irish guy. It was strange. Wei Wu Ore. Wei Wu Owe. Cormac Owe, whatever. So I read a book by him. It was very difficult to read the whole thing. That wasn't the point. The point was one of the things on the first page was uh, he talks about 99.9% of your actions is about you and you're not that. Yeah. So basically, it was very important to not start calling yourself consciousness and everything and everything. And it was much more important to see what you're not. Yeah. And this led right into his idea of the negative way, because he saw the pointlessness of hearing the message presented as an absolute, like you are everything, because it's going to be heard as a something, and you're asleep to that first second or two of time where you're established as a something. So the something doesn't see that it was made a something. It thinks it's something. Yeah. And it's like if it was the limitation of the programming is the something's never going to get that it's not the something. It's impossible. It's not because it's programmed based. It's not organically growing based. It's programmed based. Yeah. It has a certain ability to reach so far, but then it can't reach any farther. It's like sometimes when you watch the dog's understanding has a ceiling. Yeah, you're trying to get something through to it, and it's going like this, and then you use a name, and it looks see if they're coming. And then people like joke on dogs because of that. You can make them do stupid things and laugh. Yeah, but we should be laughing at ourselves. We're not that different than a dog as the action figure, really. We we're not. So basically, if there's doing noticed, the doer pops up like a jack in a box. Yeah, just pops up. And that jack in a box and the jack in the box can't get before the jack in the box. In other words, there's no jack before the jack in the box. Yeah, this was the point of negation, which is because groups I would go to, all there is consciousness, and all you're all this and all that, and it sounded good conceptually. It did. It made me feel a little better than myopic, self-centered, whatever. But it did nothing landed, nothing grabbed on. Yeah, no matter how many seeds were planted, it couldn't create a roots thing, and it would be blown down. And so then you're hearing tons of different concepts from tons of different people. Nothing's really grabbing. Yeah, that's why we came up with the dog shit awareness. Yeah. So this way is basically has left that direction and goes to a negation. It's not a denial, because a denial is the head taking something to be really, really real, and it tries to deny that. This isn't denial, it's negation. And it's easy to negate something that's never been here. It truly is. Once you try it, it really works, because there that which is negating isn't even here. It's beautiful. Yeah. So, like, you apply a solution, and the solution is there is no problem. So there is no need for a solution. Yeah. So at a point, there's a need for a solution. The solution gets applied. The problem is seen as imaginary, and there's no need for a solution. It's the most economical thing, because there's nothing. There's nothing you need. Yeah. You don't have to hold on to the solution because you really are the solution. Yeah. Being ourselves reality would be a pretty good description of being the solution. Yeah. And what would be the problem? Uh, Missing that, or taking yourself to be something else. Yes. So when there's a taking ourselves, and there's no self, but when there's a taking of whatever we are to be something else, then the only thing from there, something else, about what really is so, is conceptual. Yes. Yeah. Because it can't find the reality. The reality would negate it. So it has conceptions that are held and allow it to continue. So now it, instead of being confronted, is now the vehicle to find reality. And this is what I believe Huang Po said so beautifully, with, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. You can't use light to seek light. You can't use mind to seek mind. It's more of a declaration, and then you you recognize that that is what this whole event has been doing, really. So the Buddha is forgotten by using it to look for the Buddha. Yeah, that's why they say if you see the Buddha on the street, shoot him. Yeah, why? Because there's a trick. You're making something else a Buddha so that you don't see that you're the Buddha. Yeah, and you see this with, it's all innocent, but if you used to go to early satsangs, the one person was probably a little higher up, and there was all these other people, and there was a vague sense that the other people thought this person had something they didn't have. It was like the epitome of duality, yes, under the banner of non-duality. So the idea of non-duality was getting overwhelmed by the act of duality. Yeah. And so, and the act of duality is not going to stop, but you can see it as not your act of duality. Yeah. Duality is the nutrient to non-duality. By seeing duality, to seeing it, yeah. And then it brings you to the dualism. You finally see you're not that. And then the dualism continues, but you're not that as interested as you were before, because you're not taking it to be you. This is not about the vision of duality stops. You see things in a dualistic manner. This does. It does, because it's seeing it from dualism. So there's a subject object thing going on. It's hidden in plain sight by taking yourself to be a singular body, but the singular body, the activity is not singular. It's dualistic. Yeah. You're sometimes thought about as an object, or you're sometimes held as the thinker, which would be the subject. So this thing's going on and on and on. And if you could not be so enamored of the thing, you would see the activity that the thing is sort of hiding, and you would see dualism, and then you would realize that dualism is what's projecting duality. There's no like the fifth planet isn't the planet of duality. Yeah, it's a way of seeing. It's a way of looking, really. So we're looking from dualism. So how do we look? Dualistically. Yeah. It's a projection of where it's coming from, and it's coming from dualism. So duality gets projected. Yeah. Now, this dualism has maybe a hope of oneism, but it's going to try to find oneism through twoism. Yeah. So, and if you see a concept of oneism held by twoism, it has twoism in it. It's chock full of twoism. Because you're going to be the one that's going to find, arrive at reality, being ourselves reality already. But no, you are going to come to that realization that you are reality. No, it's not that way. I don't feel. Yeah. So this isn't about, because this is the first mistake a lot of people make. They want to stop a duality. Yeah. I'm not gonna fall for it anymore. But it's being projected where they're sitting from. Yeah. So you're trying to clean up that in the film instead of changing the projector or something. Yeah, you're trying to change it in the film. I'm gonna change the dualism, which is just more duality. Yeah. So this is beautiful. Nothing has to change. You just see things differently. Yeah. You see the duality differently. Yeah. And then you see the dualism that's projecting the duality. And if you're seeing the dualism, you're not the dualism. Yeah. So you get an intimacy of, let's call it your home or the home. You do. Yeah. You get an intimacy of it. I remember when I saw Ramesh. He did a trippy thing. Very nice guy, but you would meet downstairs, and a guy who I really liked, Murdy, was there, and he would ask, "Is anybody new?" Because Ramesh was getting bored of talking to the familiar people. So whoever came new, they had you in a seat in front of him, sort of like to prime the pump, so he could get going because he had it with. So I was that person that day. And years later, forgot all about it. Someone sent me a video, and they knew I don't watch videos. So they said, "Watch this video, please, Paul." So I put the video on, and it was Ramesh. And then I hear someone talking, and it was me. And they had videoed it. Uh, Obviously, a great prophet had realized how great I was going to become. So they had it video logged. So, and he was sitting there, and he was asking me, "What do you do?" And I said, "Not much." No, he says, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I paint houses." He says, "Okay, Paul. When you so in the morning you go to job work?" "Yeah." I go, "Yeah." He says, "Do you have a place to stay?" "Yeah, I have I live in a house." And he says, "All right. So when you leave to go to work, by going to work, does that cause you to forget you have a house?" I said, "No, no, it doesn't." He says, "If you have to stay overtime with more time away from the home, convinced you that you don't have a home?" "No, pretty much I have a place." And then it says, "If you went to Europe to work, do you believe that would convince you you don't have a home?" I said, "No, I have a home." It's like a knowing, not like knowledge, but a knowing. Yeah. Yeah. He says, "This is exactly what it's like." Yeah. So here you are in this event, but you haven't, and you seem to have forgotten your home, so to speak. But there's no forgetting that home. You're in it completely, that space. And so and I thought it was quite unique, quite interesting thing, because he used time and space. I think I've turned it into we're using time and space. He didn't say this, maybe. I may have mined something else out of what he said, which is, he used time and space about what could induce you to forget the unforgettable? Let's say, in this case, we're making an example of the house, and and it goes, well, if you work overtime, would that cause it? So more time isn't going to make you forget that you have a house, and more distance isn't going to, yeah. This is a sense of knowing. This is the knowing that the whole thing is resting on, that knowing of what we are in the midst of all this activity. Yeah. And it is, when you're at work, do you chant, I have a house, no, I don't chant, I have a house. When I'm on the plane, moving 500 miles away from the house, I feel like I'm losing the house. No, I just have a sense that I have a house. Yeah. Don't you have that feeling? I don't mean a house, but a sense. There's a sense of oddness that no matter how much the head wants to dissect it and cut it up and compartmentalize it, it seems to wash out all boundaries. It's just one big event, isn't it? I don't have categories. These thoughts appeared on Tuesday. There's just thousands of thoughts rolling through, thousands of feelings rolling through, thousands of opinions rolling through, rolling through. And when all is said and done, actually, really nothing's happened, literally. It's the same onness, always here at all times with no requirement necessary. There you are. Your inherent nature, even here, bleeding through this, is you're present and available. If you're present, you're available. You have to make a super effort not to be available because you're present, really. People are really the head tends to try to make us unavailable because we're so available. And it wants to fill us up with directions from yesterday and tomorrow because we're rooted in present. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So these things, it's like the hurdles, you were meant to hit every one of them in the race. Yeah. You weren't meant to jump over the hurdles. You were meant to hit every one of them, and recognizing that this is a made up fucking uh, race, so to speak. So you hit every one, and then you see the reaction of the understanding, which is insane, the mental logic. And in that, you start getting a true sense that for me, it was mechanical. It was sort of like, yes. And then the personalness, which is like a syrup being poured in every day to the mechanics. Yeah. This is the cherishing of self, and it's the head. The head loves this idea of being you, even if it sucks. It's digging it. It really is. I mean, really. Yeah. And this pouring of the syrup, you're not, once syrup gets out, you're not going to get, yeah. Yeah. So the point is, it's not you see it, then you change it. No, you see it and you're disarmed. The move to change it, you see is not yours. Yeah. So what used to, okay, you told me how I am, I vow to change, on to action. No, you see all that as not you. And if it stops and goes back to the wardrobe and it comes out as the doer of something, you see it as not you. And you catch the emperor with no clothes to the point where no matter how many clothes it wears, you know it's the emperor. Yeah. And now that which, thought it was so difficult to seem to ever get out of what you thought was established, it's the same thing is happening with the new establishment, which is the old establishment. You're in the moment with no effort or thought on your part. You're here. Yeah. If you wanted to be here, it's a done deal. You're the after fact of being here. There's no coming to here. The here, you can leave seemingly here. There's no coming to here. It's already done. Yeah. And so which used to move everything, almost like playing around with the plate tectonics, scare, you did this, and every mental movement was a verification that you left you're not abiding anymore or something like that. And you were getting canceled from this present and available by the mental state, claiming every mental movement was yours. Yeah. That's continues to happen, yet you're not moved by it. Yeah. You don't buy into it anymore. You lost interest in it. And so you're here. Like here, you don't know how drenched I'm in Novato. I'm completely Novatoized. Completely here. Completely. All the all the but if I no, it's just you're completely here. It's awesome in a lot of ways. And when you go to sleep, you really go to sleep. You get that daily reprieve from the action figurehood, which is rest. Yeah, so you can reverse engineer sort of how you fell down the stairs. Yeah. So that may be because if it's the first time you fell down the stairs, you may be afraid. Yeah. You may be really afraid of that sixth stair or something like that. If you can share it, and when people come here and they describe us something that they're running into, and you've seen that, you can give it a sense of a very familiar okayness. Yeah. Like we talked with Richard. If you don't act out and don't die, it's going to get better. Yeah. Whatever acting out means in this life, it would be doing drugs. Yes. Yeah. And dying, we all agree with. And this isn't dying. This isn't the dark night of the soul. Yeah. Thank God. If could you imagine if it was the dark nights of the soul? You would never have made it. It's dark night is one night. You can make it, eh? So I just listened to a guy on radio. He did 78, it was a huge process he was talking about. He did 78 episodes of overdoing LSD, and he went into but it was never mentioned he wasn't there. Everything that was discovered, he discovered it. Uh, And as soon as you start hearing that, I have no interest in what you discovered because you haven't discovered there's no you. And I think the greatest discovery is no you. I do. Yeah, I really do. I really, really do. Before I would have pulled over and listened to it, the whole show, and I just realized he was on the eighth level of something. So, wow. Yeah. And he even talked about the selfish realm but he was still a self. I was in the selfish realm. No, you weren't. Self is not in a selfless realm. But I know it was I'm not mentioning anything. It's probably very beautiful, but it's just an information of how certain tastes have changed in here. Yeah. Don't if there's like a 12th level of spiritual warriorship, I could give a shit. Yes, you know what I mean? I just don't think this is about overcoming and becoming. I think you already are and disarmed. Yeah. I think it's more of a disarming effect because you already are. Yeah. In other words, there's nothing you need to do or not do to make what's already so. Isn't it a beautiful? And then everything that's based on doing and moving and getting and losing and, you recognize as not you. And without the attention and interest, the umbilical cords get cut. Yeah. With intellect and this and that. Yeah. Get cut. And then you're standing alone in a sense, nothing. Yeah. And who's going to do 78, like, re, assisted weekends on high doses of LSD? I did that when I was 16, 15. My mother would always come home and ruin the fucking thing. No, no. But I mean, I don't, are you gonna be able to do that? You ever be able to take 150 acid trips this year? I don't know. And then if you're not, and then all that you believe is possible, if you do that, will seem to be impossible. Yeah. I'd rather just, you know, realize this action figure, the best it can do is maybe curbside level. And then to lose a sufficient enough interest in it so that there could be a traveling lighter. Yeah. As seemingly this. I feel then the job's over at that point. Hey guys. Yeah. You ever been to I don't know. We have the dog show going on here. Remember, you can't use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. Reminder, you cannot use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. All right, any questions from there?
Yeah, Paul, Keith Glover has a couple questions. He's brand new, if I read the message right. Go ahead and
Couple,
unmute, Keith. There you go.
Hi. Can you hear me?
yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm new to everything here and I've watched a lot of your videos, so I've got a good handle on what you've been talking about.
Yeah.
Well, my friend recommended me to watch your videos after I had an experience, and he said that I should watch your videos to try to grapple it. If I could talk about that for a second, if that's okay.
Yeah. Well, grapple, let's forget grappling, but yeah.
So I was trying to take my virtual headset off. And so I decided to try to sit in stillness for the first time. I've never really done it before. I don't know anything about anything really. And I sat just completely quiet and I made a decision that I was not going to do anything. That if something was going to happen, it wasn't going to be me. So my nose got itchy and I just let it scratch the nose. Like, that's not me doing that. I'm going to be just sitting here. And then I noticed thoughts coming. I'm like, I didn't think that. So I don't understand why this thought's coming, because I'm not purposely thinking this. I started thinking about childhood, and I said, well, that's not me thinking that, because I'm sitting in perfect stillness, and I let it go. And then I started thinking about the future. I said, that's not me thinking that. And then I felt, I'm a programmer, so I felt like these were algorithms coming in from someplace else. And then I thought to myself that it's very familiar. It's felt like dreams, like a dream state, because I know that when I have a dream, if I do something in the dream, I know it's not me. It's this Keith that's in the dream. So if Keith goes to the store in the dream, I didn't actually go to the store. And when these thoughts were coming in, I noticed that they were this other algorithm that was running again. It was the same algorithm as if I was dreaming. And then the next day, when I was making eggs, I noticed that again, these thoughts were coming and I was not having them. They were thoughts of the future, thoughts of the past, things that weren't actually happening, but there were emotional responses to them. I was getting very reactive and thinking about stressing out about the future. And I'm like, well, that's not happening. And stressing out about the past. I'm like, that's not happening. So I was very much aware that I was just making eggs. And it felt very, I felt very disconnected with the thoughts that were coming. And I felt like now all of a sudden I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and it's like everything's coming and going. And then when I could see my kids and my wife have an argument or something, it was like it was being played on a movie screen and I was watching it. But it felt like I could actually interact with those characters and poke at them and have like some sort of communication with them. It felt like I was watching a movie that, and when I'm driving now, I feel like I can see my hands in front of me, like they're virtually there, that these aren't my hands. Like this is still all happening on some sort of movie screen or something. And I really don't understand what even listening to all your videos, I understand the idea that we're all watching this from different perspectives, and that I'm watching it from a Keith perspective. But then I started having feelings towards this Keith guy, and I just wanted to give him a hug and tell him everything's going to be okay. And I don't know why this is, I don't understand what's happened, I guess.
Well, it happens, so why do you need to understand it?
I don't know.
There you go.
I guess I don't know anything. Just, I
Stay
thought I
better.
did.
And yeah, and there'll be a lot of being in things you don't know. There you go. Yeah, yeah, it sounds good to me. Yeah, yeah. The thing that's wants to understand it, obviously, is that which comes after. Yeah, and what's going on is before it. And so it wants to sort of, by the claiming of it, it wants to put it through the system of understanding it. Just a really, it's like a neutering process that keeps it protected. Just yeah, get a t-shirt, spray a question mark on it, walk around.
Well, what is that thing that's making these
Every
thoughts
mirror
then?
you see, just yeah, there you go.
What is that thing that makes the thoughts? What is the thing that's creating these algorithms?
They're not making thoughts or creating anything. There's just thoughts. There's thoughts. We're in a giant Gulf Stream of verbing, yeah? Yes? So
Yes.
things are, there's thought, there's thoughts, there's feelings, there's this, there's that. And then one aspect of that verbing has decided it wants to be a noun, so to speak. And it starts, and again, it's impossible to withstand the verb momentum. So it just makes a story of being a noun as it gets swept away by all these experiences and feelings and thoughts and shit like that. Instead of going with it, it's being dragged by it or affected by it. And so therefore it wants to understand why this is happening from a noun's perspective. And there is no noun. Yeah. Let's say there was tons of stuff happening, that would be tons of stuff happening. All right, let's say there's tons of stuff happening, and then suddenly, like a cement noun is dropped in to the happening, and now there's a point of view centered from the noun, and then the noun looks at all the happening as what's happening to me, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wants to understand what's happening from its noun-like position. It's
So is that the ego
well,
trying to take claim?
it's not the ego that it's already claimed. The the claiming happens. Now, if it's claimed is based on where the awareness lies, if the awareness is an attribute the action figure says it has, it's going to be actually in cahoots with uh, where you're looking from. If you've lost interest in enough in this noun thing, that awareness is now situated in the before and will see the head claiming what's going on. The head is going to claim what's going on. You're not going to stop that. If it's going to be successful, it's when it has you out to lunch and you're looking from it. Yeah. When you see it, the claiming doesn't have any, it loses its weight and meaning. Yes. It's just a mechanical claiming. So,
I mean, the thing that became useful, I guess, was the thoughts of the future seem to be tied to some sort of anxious feelings, and the
yeah, from
thoughts
the,
of the past
yeah.
seem to be like more of a depressive feeling. There wasn't really happy thoughts coming from the past, and there wasn't really calm thoughts coming from the future. But when I just made eggs and just watched them cook and just was there was a sort of peace, I guess.
Yeah. It's like the Zen thing, carry water, chop wood, and then before enlightenment, after enlightenment, carry water, chop wood. Yeah, there you go.
So what do I do with that?
What do you do with that? Nothing.
You just live?
Well, that's what's happening, ain't it?
I guess. Is
Yeah.
it? I don't even know if that's really happening.
Well, just go along with it. Yeah. You don't need to know. Really, we're above our pay scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's above the action figure has a defined logic and intellect and everything like that. Your freedom from it is not making it unlimited. It's recognizing it's not you in all its limitations. Yes, that's what is the space giver.
It felt very similar to about 30 years ago when I did uh, about 8 grams of these crazy mushrooms and I
Yes,
just lost myself. And something in me was panicking the entire time that I was going to just dissolve and disappear. And I was trying to just ground myself into some sort of realness about who I was, and it was just wasn't there for a long time.
yes, that will be like it, but it will still be there, but its influence will be diminished. Yes,
What does that mean?
means the system will keep on doing its system, but there will be a loss of interest in it. What holds you isn't the system. The system is mechanical. What holds us is the interest and attention given it. Yeah. And
Is the interest
that's
awareness?
because it's taken to be us. When it's not taken to be you, the interest and attention gets redistributed. It just moves and it's revelatory because you didn't move it, nor did you direct it. And then you find out where the interest in through the interest. Then you find out where the attention's on, what the intention's on by what it's on. It's like,
Well, how do I know that I'm not still 30 years ago super high on these mushrooms and then I'm about to wake up?
how do you know what?
How do
Oh,
I know that I'm not
that's just mental. Yeah, that's mental masturbation. Don't worry about it.
that's just overthinking?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. The idea of you're I'm the butterfly in China that made this thing, and then but you're neither of them. You're neither that the one nor the butterfly.
So is there a thing of time?
It's manufactured, yes. I don't believe there's time. Yeah. I believe time appears here. It's one of the major this event. I don't believe this is a real event. I believe this is dreaming as you were talking. Yes, and the dreaming has some fundamental aspects, which is time and space. Yes, there's got to be space for the stage, and it has to be time for the act to occur. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, but look at time. If you're doing something you like, it seems to go by quickly. When you're doing something you don't like, it seems to drag. Or like when they discovered finally by those experiments with light, if the team that were experimenting with light were looking for light to appear as a particle, it appears as a particle. When
Right.
another team was looking for light to appear as a wave, it's appeared as a wave. It sort of has the witnessing or the observing seems to have a whole lot to do with the observed. Yes.
What is the difference between what you call being interested and being awareness?
Well, when there's an interest, it's an emphasis. That's all. Changes the emphasis. Awareness can be emphasized here.
By
Yes.
that, do you mean focus, like where you're
Not
focused?
focused, emphasized.
Emphasized.
Not focused, emphasized. Yeah. It's not like there's a sentence. You don't make one when you're reading a sentence, one of the words isn't the letter of the word isn't darker than another one usually. The emphasis is the meaning that's given. Yeah. So yeah. So the emphasis to the awareness would be, or the interest in the awareness is being emphasized more than a lot of other things. Yes. And that brings a lightness to the other things. Yeah.
Is that what creates contrast between being and non-being? Is there
Uh,
even a
Ahead. Well, we're going off now,
is
but
there even a being and non-being, or is that BS.
Well, there's no contrast, because the being, if there's being and there's non-being, that ain't it. It's neither of those. Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't like we're trying to stop the chain of reincarnation. We don't believe there's any incarnation. I don't believe there's a thing. Yeah. That's going to become a non-thing. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't believe much now. I'm in Novato. You have to understand.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very, it's, I don't need much mental weight in Novato. But I don't know, bro. Just let it, you know, your head is in the tiger's mouth. Yes. The tiger doesn't understand your logic or language. It's not listening to anything you're saying, and you're just going to be digested. So just go along with it. Yeah, it's too late. The head is in the tiger's mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then watch what you see, and then yeah, I thought it was a great, what you described was great. Just, you could have a whole life like that with no description. Yeah. A life lived, how much description does a life lived need? How much description do you need if you're living the day, if you're present and available? You don't have much, there's no need for a description of it. You're not really, things come and go. You don't try to describe it so you can capture it, because you realize things come and go. Stuff just keeps on. The only constant is us. Yeah. Things are coming and going and coming and going.
Feels a little nihilistic.
Well, to the head, it doesn't feel nihilistic. It triggers a thought that it's nihilistic. Yes. Yes. Well, you
So
always get a dualistic idea of things.
is there any meaning then, or is it meaning that you just give yourself?
There's just meaning being thrown around. Yeah.
No such thing.
Look at lesson 2 in the Course in Miracles. Do me a favor. If you have that book, you don't even need the book. Just
I don't.
get the first 6 lessons. They have a lesson a day, and then stop at the 7th lesson. And that will explain a lot about meaning. Yeah. So you and I
I'll look it
give
up.
everything all the meaning it has. Yes. And basically it says, you know, nothing has any meaning, da 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 da. And it says, and the reason why all this is so is because you see only the past. Yeah. So basically the action figure is a regurgitation. You rethink, you refeel, you redo, you rehash, you that, da 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 da. It's just on a loop. It burps and it loops again, and burps, loops. And so the future concerns are based on past understandings, yes? And it just gets projected. Yeah. So the thought system is just rethinking, refeeling, retouching, retasting. Yeah, yeah. When you dream, or mostly you dream of bodies, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah. So the dreams are in this, are rooted in the system itself.
but they don't usually make sense once you're done dreaming.
Well, this doesn't make sense either.
No,
But
it
yeah,
doesn't.
this makes less sense. But just think, all the dreaming that you seem to have done or been in, all is always of body. So the dreams are of this place in a way. And this place is of things. This is a dreaming of things and giving meaning to things. And because things are empty, we can have a subjective experience. If we were in a real world, the reality of the world would impose itself on us. We're not. We're dreaming. So you and I are giving everything all the meaning it has. Now, you may have given things the meaning to affect you, and therefore they will. Yeah, there's a very clear statement in the Course that you and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. And what happens when we forget that we're the dreaming and we're taking ourselves to be the dreamt? We now give everything we're dreaming the ability to affect us. That's what happens. So you dream that you have an ass, and then suddenly something can bite you in the ass. So, but, but, so all this is meaning, you know, and everything is meaningless. Therefore, there can be meaning given to it. And this is the subjective experience. And people are having subjective hells and subjective heavens all fucking day. Yeah.
Yeah, but if someone gives me the finger or something and I could make that, or if someone slaps me in the face, to me, the meaning could be I get really angry. This guy's trying to attack me. Some people might get sexually turned on by the exact same event. So the
Yeah.
event is the event. The meaning has to come from me, right?
Well, not you. It comes through you.
Through me.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Well, it's like the light going through a projector. You're like the projector. Yeah.
So this is just like a big
There is
movie
the
screen.
projector of meaning. It's how meaning is given. It's not that which is given meaning.
So are you the screen then that the projector's shining on instead?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
Well,
I
it's
could
like
think
my
about
monitor that I'm looking at in front of me can create 1,000 images on it, but it's still just a monitor. It's still just a TV, right? Am I the TV or am I what's coming onto the monitor through
oh,
my
you're
computer?
neither. You're neither the TV nor the monitor.
I'm not even that.
You're indescribable. You're unknowable. From where we're sitting, the best thing to do is relish the I don't know mind. Don't know. Yeah. And
That's pretty fucking scary, man.
so what?
I don't know. I don't even know.
You, it's not you that sees it as super scary. I guarantee you that. It rushes and says it's super scary. Yeah. Yeah. How do you know? You haven't found out. Hey, we got to move on, bro. I'm happy. I'm
Thank
happy.
you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't believe a word I say. Just this is just ramblings of an empty fucking flute. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, we got Matt from Chicago.
Oh, Matt.
Unmute, Matt.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. This is like a get out of jail free card, man. Anytime I just lose interest, Paul, I was gonna fucking kill myself like 6 months ago, right? I had 10 years sobriety. I have a family and kids, and the suffering and the humiliation, right? I just the chronic relapser, and I've listened to so much of you over the last 60 days, man, and the identification. I came in when I was 30, single mom, grew up in Huntington, Long Island, slinging drugs, got clean when I was 30. And I just wanted to make money. And there was, financial insecurity, and I sort of did that. And, now I'm repairing the family and listening to you like hours a day. And I'm outside of a meeting right now. I'll be going to a meeting at Mary. When's this meeting started? Sure, soon. But yeah, so I guess the question is, here's what I'm the seeker, and so moving from square to square. You've used these analogies, which are fantastic, these visualizations, and so I move from square to square throughout the day, and then I stop, and I want to fix, manage, and control like certain areas of my life, right? Like my kids having problems at school. He's got an IEP. I want to get ahead of it, and I'm I'm building my business and I got to do this. And, I'm whispering in somebody's ear, at the school because my wife doesn't understand and we're not on the same page. So, when to stop, do I just stop fucking doing all of this? Like take
You
no
gotta
interest in
just-
my fucking life?
I feel with that is in the realm of the action figure, it's great to rely on the idea of a higher power. Yeah. And to know that you're being used, you're not the user. Yes. And to
Yeah.
feel like if you can't have a sense of security, look at others who found great security with this idea of relying on something greater than themselves to sort of first of all show up for life and find out that you can live life successfully. Yeah. So I would turn over everything that seems important to you over to this idea of something greater than you that can can bring about can do for you what you cannot do for yourself. That's the essence of the reliance on the higher power in recovery, is the recognition that something can do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. And you're just talking about a number of things you seem not to be able to do by yourself. Well, there you go. Give
Yeah.
those topics over to something greater than you. Try to just ask for the grace to stay out of the outcome business and just
Yeah. Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Let go of the results. Yeah, that's what you do. It's a way of life. And it's a way of life that's quite successful for the action figures that have crossed the line and have fallen into an alcoholism that seems as real can be. They've lost the ability to control what they do especially concerning drugs and alcohol. There you go. So basically, any life run on self-will hardly be a success. So you're convinced of that, I'm sure, if you've lived under that tyranny. And
Hmm.
now you've done what we do, and the interest and attention has been moved out of the faith in the finite self into the faith in the infinite. So you're in good hands. Just show
Yeah.
up, ask for
Yeah.
guidance, and do what you can do, and let go of the results. Yes, but stay freaking sober as the act.
Yeah.
That's the first things first. And then you'll learn how to face life successfully, because you won't be facing life successfully as the manager and the controller, but as something being used by a greater power. Yes? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. No,
That's it.
the yeah, thank you. It's
Yeah. And then
you've been a
work with
godsend.
you work with people, and in these little ways of life and the little situations we get caught up in and stuff, you'll have people in the program that have gone through everything you can possibly have gone through or will go through, and there'll be a camaraderie there, and you'll get some kind of uh help, yeah, to
Direction. Yeah.
the good orderly direction to keep putting foot in front of the other. This is action figure world, yes? But truly, the
Yeah.
greatest mover of the action figure is not a thing or an action figure. It's not a figure at all.
It's my disinterest, right? Like losing interest I mean, that's what the idea, like your negation, right? You're just saying, no, don't verb it, man. Don't, the doing, the going, the feeling, just fucking lose interest and enjoy this
Well,
beautiful
that would be
sky. Like,
so one of the losing interest in early times is service. Yeah.
okay.
Service
Yeah. Yeah.
gives you a sense of being present and available. And then you can compare the day that you've been living in the head, which is you're not present and you're not available. You're available to the past and the future. You're being directed and dictated to by an interpretation. And now perhaps there's a better way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Service.
I'll wrap it. The service has been, right. I got 3 kids under 10, and the service has been, investing myself in them outside of meetings. And my whole life is AA, and it has been for 30 years, right? Even though, you talked about it, right? My realtor, the guy who's renting my place, the guy who's doing my lawn, the guy who's, it's all AA, man.
It's an amazing thing.
It just absolutely, I'm drenched in it right now. And maybe this is a topic for later, but the chronic relapser, Paul, this is a point of contention that I've had with you, is the the identity, right? You've got this X number of years behind you, and I did too, right? I had a decade, and when I lost that, I feel like it's so much easier for me to just say, yeah, fuck it, we'll start again Monday. And I guess that's something you can address later. I've taken a bunch of your time.
I have to thank life because I haven't gone out since I got sober.
Yeah.
I don't have an intimacy with that.
You don't think it's the fact that you have that, right? It's almost as a possession, or the most important thing in your life, right? On your tombstone is you've been sober X number of years, therefore you can help all these people with the non-duality. But I don't fucking have that, man. I got 6 months, you know what I mean?
Different seat assignment.
Oh, that's yeah.
But who's playing the music is the same.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Different sheet assignment.
Got 3 kids, and there you go with this service.
Yeah.
Got a job to do in a way.
When I heard you say, you ran out to see that guy in India because he was 85 and you were afraid he was going to pass away. I've been so drenching myself with this that I'm going to head out west. So I hope I got to come out there to see an aunt who's got Parkinson's anyway, and I figured I'd stop by the cafe. So
good. Please.
Yeah, good luck with it, man. Good luck with it.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on leaving so early, but who knows? Life has a mind of its own.
Yeah, I don't it seems like you're doing just fine, but I'll be there, right? So I figure I'll drop in and
please, Matt, drop in. Yeah, we'd be so happy to see you. Yeah. Come in and we have a nice fellowship here.
Yeah, well, the I'm just loving it, man. I've got Marianne is with me here, and she's sort of watering. She's the the matriarch of the club. I'm at outside of the Des Plaines Alano Club, and I go back to Long Island. I used to go to meetings in Huntington all the time when I came home, and it's sort of like returning to the scene of a crime, right? And I don't know, man. There's something in the water there. I think it was all like, a bunch of first generation people getting out of the boroughs and thinking everything was fine. They got the picket fence, the kids are safe, and we just fucking went wild.
Yeah, Long Island's yes. That's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta move on.
Yeah, man, I know it. Thanks, man. Thanks, Paul.
Hey, they're all looking at me. Yeah.
Oh, we got Elisa.
All right, Elisa, come on.
Hey, so I had a question earlier about and I was noticing about the, like, wait, am I supposed to be stopping the claiming? Am I supposed to be noticing? And then somebody else got that question answered even after I put my hand down. Woo! So it's just part of the natural process that I'm noticing, and maybe when I lose interest in that, there will be less of that, so that I don't have to do that. And then I heard a huge example of that scraping, grabbing onto things who I am so that I can have worth. And all of that is my head, the itty bitty shitty committee that lives in my head that says, drink till you die or I'm going to drive you crazy. Like I have years, or I have this, or I have that. All that for me is that claiming and those old ideas of who I should be. That stuff drives me crazy, and I would really be grateful it's objectionable. I wish that would go. Until I got that, then I wouldn't like it anymore. Cause I'm like, but what am I gonna do? Um, so I don't know if you have anything more to say about the claiming.
Well, I want you to get across it's mechanical and it's a very fast process in time. And I don't believe children of time are going to get before it. So that's all you need to know. It's not personal. It's not an aspect of you. It's mechanical. Yeah, it's of the mental process. Well, uh, its first movement in this event is the claim, the conscious contact. That's all you need to know. Yeah, and you can tell the huge amount of difference of meaning is first there's the seeing, and then there's the idea of the seer, and the head has the seer first and underemphasizes the seeing. You don't need tons of examples. One example can cover tons of ground. So if you look at the basic description of what's happening here, you would say consciousness is in contact. Yeah. Just like the dog there's a consciousness as a dog, there's consciousness as this action figure. So conscious contact is the trigger. Thank you. And the trigger has 5 triggers. And in Buddhism, they say the 6th trigger is the head. So the internal dialogue. And so consciousness comes into contact, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, mental process triggers, comes up, claims the contact, the conscious contact, and interprets it. It gives it a narrative. So the seeing is now used to reinforce the seer, which is made up. Yes? Conscious contact, seeing. And then the seeing claimed, seer. Now the seer the head puts before the seeing. And life has now been turned into an interpretation. Yeah. And you're not only under interpretation, you are the interpretive event. This idea of you. Yeah? So you represent the seer, the hearer, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. And this is how the head remembers all that. It remembers being the seer as you. In the memory, you're pictured as a body. And your role is you're the seer, hearer, feeler, taster, toucher as this body. And so you are remembered, just like we said, as rethinking, rehashing, regurgitating, refeeling. Yes, the memory is a reing all the time. So the claiming takes the seeing, yeah, and by the claiming of the seeing, it takes out the greatest quality of it, which is the act of seeing, the verbing, and makes it a noun, the seer. Yeah, and then the emphasis is seer, seeing, seen. It's more seer and seen, and very little emphasis on the seeing, which is the essential aspect of this trinity. The trinity of seer and seen is seeing, yet it is the most unemphasized act. This is not an organic phenomena. It's mentally manufactured. Yeah. And this is a shift of emphasis. The emphasis comes off the conscious contact. If the conscious contact was entertained, you would get an intimacy of the awareness. Yeah, you would, because the consciousness is in a much larger thing of awareness. And the closest thing to that, if you had a close and farness, wouldn't be you, it would be the consciousness. Being conscious is close. Being closer to the awareness than you being conscious. Yes? You wouldn't even have to yell loud. You would hear the echo quickly. It would lead immediately to a larger field. But no, the consciousness has now been claimed by the mental state to emphasize the story that you as a non-existent thing is what's conscious. It's insane, literally. And therefore that which could be very close to awareness, we're not, there's no close or farness, but I'm intimating something, is now being used for the opposite thing. You are the active denial of what you are. That's it. Yeah. This is what the head does. The conscious contact, you become unconscious of the conscious contact and you become super self-conscious. Yeah. This isn't you, it's force fed. It's manufactured. And many of us have been moved by that momentum, and enough's enough. Yeah. And it's not about stopping it. It's not about vanquishing it. It's about seeing it. Not being conscious of it because you're already of that, but being aware of it. So now you see what you used to look from, and what the you that that's been made up is constantly looking from. You see it. You become aware of it. And the simple thing of when you see something, you mustn't be that's something you're seeing. Yes, it's just it just hits you when suddenly that which was taken to be you is now seen. It loses a lot of the enamoredness. Yes, you recognize, hey, wait a minute, I may be the seeing, not the seer. Yeah. Yes. And now the emphasis of your life is on the seeing, on the awareness, not the seeing, but the awareness of the seeing, of the hearing, of the feeling. You are aware of the conscious contact. And the joy of it is the awareness of the conscious contact, instead of trying to become more conscious as something that you're conscious as. Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
lose interest in it, and now there's an awareness of the conscious contact. And then you see the mental reaction and stuff like that, because there's no efforting to if you're everywhere, you're going to be apt to see everything. Yeah. So, yeah. If you're located in one place on a tripod, you're missing out on a whole lot of shit. If you lose interest in that thing and you have a much more panoramic view, you see, it's not like there's more seeing, but you see more, a lot more. Yeah. And one of the things you're going to see is what the head is looking from, and quote unquote, taken to be the head you were looking from. You'll see it. You'll see it. And you'll see all the reinforcements and the armament and everything to keep that perch in place. Yeah. You'll see it. And more will be revealed about it. Yeah. And then you just you can travel lighter as that which was perched there. Yeah. The great warrior would see Novato as a bummer. Yes, I should be in fucking Tiruvannamalai or some 8,000-foot cave in Tibet or something, or eating some mushrooms or fucking some shit down in Peru. Yeah. What the hell am I doing in Novato? that that perch has to be exalted. Yeah, it does. So, yes. All right. Anyone else? Is that all right, Lalisa? Yes.
Doesn't look like any other hands, Paul.
What happened when you were a kid? You were conscious of tons of shit, and then the head got developed, and you became self-conscious. I remember it to the day. I remember I was running around. I don't have any vagueness before. I was running. I was like 4 years old or something. I had no clothes on, and the Nichols family kid had no clothes on. We were both running around, and my mother stuck her head out the kitchen window, and she looked mad that I was naked or running around, and I felt self-conscious. Wow. It's like the first time. And then before then, I'd be running into rooms, doing this, doing that. Now everything I ever did was accompanied by thought. I had a thought about why did I run into the room? I had a thought, yes, unbelievable. And then so that conscious contact of a kid became a mental contact, which was self-conscious. I became extremely self-conscious, and it made it very uncomfortable since I was young, since about 6 or 7. And it became a vague irritability, restless discontent that had me quite interested in trying to get some relief. And I ran into beer, 12 years old. And when I drank, I got relief from the self-consciousness. If a girl said hello and I went home and wondered what she meant by it for 5 hours, I wasn't doing that when I was drunk. Fucking, I got great relief from being self-conscious. Yeah, but it was a deal with the devil. It was. Yeah, and then it caught me up in a whole other vacuum. Yes, but we're just seeing, because the self-conscious now has its you that's conscious, which isn't the case. Yes. Do you really believe the radio is playing the music, or does the stuff come through the radio? Yeah. If you're liking classical and someone puts on a whatever, call it rap, yeah, do you fucking blame the radio? The radio, tons of shit can come through the radio. It's not the musician, it's just, yes, here we are. Yeah, this is a non-existent thing. It really is. Yeah. When you leave, it's left behind. This is the gift you give to your family. When you pass away, they got to get rid of your body. We're gonna have a memorial for Uncle Paul. I don't know, a fucking memorial. Cremate the non-existing husk. I have never seen, if you could recognize the movement of spirit, I've never seen when a spirit leave a body hesitate and think, should I take it with me? No, it's just like the husk is left behind with nothing looking back. The spirit has never been confused about what the husk is. It's the head. The head, whoo, ain't I going? No. It's like a little voice box. When the body dies, it dies. It thinks, oh, it has built-in wings. No. All right. Hey, I gotta open up the cafe. I'll see you. Keith G, my main man. Thank you.
Oh,
Kerry, as always. Elisa, nice to see you, honey. Yeah, Richard Ascot. Yes, Richard. Stephen R. Shannon. We have 2 Shannons, or is the absence of Shannon, and then there's Shannon. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. She's the dualistic expression right now. There's the absence of Shannon on top, and then there's Shannon. John S. in Florida. Jamie. Thank you, Jamie, for hanging out with us. And everyone else that puts up with all the shenanigans. Chris B. Miss Marilyn in Tallahassee.
What the hell am I doing in Tallahassee?
I think that's a worthy investigation. Yes, yes. Chris B, I got him already. Shiva in West. It says Shiva W in L.A. Right? Yes. Nice to see you, Shiva. Vlad, I know where he is. Portugal. We've got Stephen Mack on having never left. We have Graham. Graham is in Spain. Nice to see you, Graham. These people have stuck with us, Graham and Richard, and I've met them all at the same place. Vlad, I met Vlad in London for the first time. Kerry, all these people, yeah. Kathleen, nice to see you, honey. I finally know the number of the meeting and the password. Aha, I actually did it today. I'm very proud of my non-self. Zoe Banks. Oh, Zoe. Zoe is like an exotic flower. I only saw her alive for a few minutes and then, yeah. Roman Mueller. Roman Mueller, man. I like Roman Mueller. That fanny pack, you never know what's coming out of it. He can roll a cigarette and smoke it underneath a no smoking sign, and no one will know. No one will be the better. People will ask me to make sure no one's smoking at satsang, and he'll be smoking right. No one knows. It's very good. Annette, nice to see you, Annette. Kathleen, yep. Mary Champagne, yes. I'm digging the AI thing. Yeah. Eric, SoCal, Heather, our magician in residence, Rob Helma, my old friend in British Columbia. I think that's it. I can't get to the other page. We're missing. Let me see. Let me see what happens. No, I can't do it. Hey, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Paul.
I
Thanks,
hope
Paul.
you better get here before I'm on my deathbed.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now must go.
All right.
Paul.
Bye, guys.